I'm here really quick, not really answering questions. Really, I'm just here real quick. I don't have storage on my phone, and this is the easiest way for me to make a quick video about politics. And, I just want to say that this has been a crazy week on a personal level, but I think that that's everybody. Everybody has taken a hit this week, like a catastrophic hit. And you know what? I'm okay with it because I feel like all of us small players take the hit and we deal with it, but the players like Elon and whatnot all across the world, anyone involved with the Epstein files and um, bad, corrupt politics, hurting people for entertainment purpose only, stealing money, information, manipulation, etc., hurting kids. But yeah, that would be connected to Epstein files. Basically, everyone connected to the Epstein files is going down. The whole everything we know is going down. It's every sector of society, financial. I've heard like all the financials are crashing right now. Everything's going down. That's because all these people involved in the Epstein files, all these big, I guess you want to call them the elite, the top 1%, power players, all connected, and it's all been out, and they're getting their money out, and they're escaping. That's what I'm getting. Now 45. So yeah, here I am. This can be fast. 45. He's brushing it off. What 45 is doing, and that's Trump. Donald Trump. He he's mentioned in the files, the Ep files, more than Jesus is mentioned in the Bible, and yet he says, "Well, I'm not. It's not a big deal. I'm not guilty. Everyone else is guilty, but I'm like everyone else did bad stuff but me. I'm the only one who knew Epstein who didn't do anything wrong. I'm innocent." Well, not likely, not a likely story. And it really is what he's doing is he's like the guy that got caught cheating, and he's like, it's not a big deal. I didn't even do it, and if I did do it, it's just a lie, or I didn't even mean to. It's a lie. I didn't mean to. I didn't even like her. I didn't love her. It was just sex. It was whatever. But it didn't happen. It didn't happen. And what's the big deal? What's the big deal? Everybody does that. And we're all supposed to go, yeah, it's a good point. And we get exhausted because he gaslights us. We've been gaslit for 10 years. We've been through this for 10 years. And we're just like, okay, on to the next horrible cycle, on to the next lie. No, this is not going away. What we're reading in these files is so egregious, so horrifying. Like, I've felt like I've broken down crying. I have felt like fainting. I've felt nauseous, like I was going to throw up with the details in these Epstein files. And I have to say that it's so bad that you could barely even sleep at night. And I don't know how they sleep at night, honestly. I don't know how they're doing this. But he's involved. Again, he's in the Ep files as the ones that have been released. He's in there more than anyone else. And he's in there more than Jesus is even mentioned in the Bible. So he could brush it off all he wants, but it's not going away. Now, they're all hoping. Mike Johnson, Bondi, I've said this for 2 weeks now. I've said this for 2 weeks, and I said it online too. People should really look at my socials because I'm on there more than I'm on here. I have said for almost weeks, if not more, that Bondi she knew about, no, I've said for a year that Bondi, what was in the files, and that's why they're not getting released. That she's seen him and she knows about him, and that's why they're not being released. But I've said for at least 2 weeks that Bondi was the new. And it's true. She's the gatekeeper. She is the gatekeeper. So here's the thing. 45 thinks we're all going to forget about this. And Bondi thinks it's all just going to pass over. But that's not what's going to happen, because I'll tell you what. The rest of the world is not going to put up with this. And they are excavating and looking through magnifying glass the files and getting the information that we're not getting here, that we're not, actually we are getting the information, we're just being gaslit the whole time. It's the rest of the world who is going to do something about this, and that terrifies, that terrifies 45 and Bondi and others. The things that I don't know if you guys have read what's coming out in the files and seen the pictures and videos. It's so horrifying. You literally feel like you're going to faint. It's so bad. The crimes against children, just unimaginable. Now, I know some people have said, Well, the stuff about babies, that's not true. They just put that in there to distract us. Well, the people who are accused of it have not come out to defend themselves and say that they didn't do it. I'm talking about the Bush, like George Bush. I mean, this George Bush Sr. is dead, so he can't. But yeah, silence. So, and then, okay, so I read something today. I saw pictures of Epstein with a swollen mouth. A couple pictures of him with this massively disgusting looking swollen mouth. And this is what it looks like when people are cannibals and they eat flesh. They get this infection. And then everybody's like, oh, stop spread. Not me, but everybody was like to the poster, stop spreading this. It's not, it's just herpes or blah, 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 blah. Just, that's bad too for what he did to children and women. Um, but it was like, this is not true. It's not true. This cannibalism stuff has been proven. That's where this stuff is so horrible that people are starting to check out and pretend it didn't happen. So, which is understandable. So, somebody had this tale of how their friend frequented a nightclub in Florida. So, like where Epstein was. And she met this guy in Florida. And they started to get along. And then they made out outside the nightclub. And it was like the dark alleyway, whatever. And he's like, come back with me to my place. And she's like, no. She started to get bad feelings. And she said, no, I got to go. She started to get really bad feelings. So she left. The next day, her mouth was swollen. And it was like all up her mouth and up and down her neck. So she had to go to the emergency room. And they said that it tested for cannibalism. So it's like, she met Epstein at this club. That's what I think. Like here, I'm an intuitive person. If you're here and you don't know what you're listening to, I'm, psychic, intuitive, but I'm also just very logical and figure things out. But that's, every time that these people say, I got a comment. Do you read the chat? Yes, but this is just a quick live. And, but yes, I do. And thanks for being here. Thank you. And welcome to my channel. My name's Amy. But, when people say, they're just putting this stuff in here, like the eating the babies thing and cannibalism thing, they're just putting this in here to distract us so then they can discredit the files. Well, that's where I feel like the universe, spirit, what have you, will be like, no, here's further evidence. So, this really happened. This really happened. And then you see these other emails and tweets and whatnot that prove that he was talking about cannibalism and having cannibal jerky that you ate in bags. And they had children in stalls. He had children in stalls and was like harvesting babies. Plane loads of children, babies, and pictures of babies. And he had his Amazon purchase list was like baby stuff. And I mean, it's horrifying. I don't know how much more I can take. The only reason I look at the information that's coming out in the Epstein files is because I don't want to be gaslit, and I don't want them to get away with gaslighting us and moving on, because we can't. We can't do that. We have to be held accountable. I honestly don't know how 45 is not in jail yet. I don't know why he's not arrested yet, because he's implicated. It's funny because his DOJ, right, like Bondi and others, for entertainment purposes only. And I know Bondi had the DOJ comb through the files and take his, right? So they'll show the victims' names and information, but they took out Frump's name and other key players, their names. Well, guess what? It didn't take out his name in a letter written in cursive by a child who recounted how 45 pedophilia on her, and talked about selling and raping children and murdering children. That was in cursive. The DOJ, their little scan, didn't find that. There's pictures, guys. There's evidence. It happened. He needs to go to jail. I don't care what side political you're on. 45 needs to go to jail. They all need to go to jail. It's going to collapse. Everything we know in society, all the elite, everything we know is going to collapse. And we have to let it, because we either live in this nightmare and accept it, and let it go, which means we are aiding, we're like abetting it. And what do you call it when you help a criminal? We're that. Or we have to be willing to be brave and move on into the new society that pushes past this and brings these people to justice. And then we build our world that we were supposed to have. I mean, I kind of wish that I didn't know this existed at all, to be honest. Let me read the comments. Strawberry, hi. Hi, Ellen. Hi, hi, everyone. Thanks for being here. Yeah, these are, these are dark days, but we're just on the edge of things getting better. It's it's unimaginable. Like, yeah, the things happening in Minnesota. Well, that's the thing too. Okay. I want you to understand something. People say, well, it's against the law to come legally. And it's like, well, technically it's not. It's a civil offense like jaywalking. But let's say it's against the law. Okay, we had to help with illegal immigration, right? Undocumented people. We had that it worked. And we had the, border customs enforcement that worked. Immigration customs, it worked. It worked the way it was without hurting people and taking citizens and without taking children and innocent people and ruining their lives and unaliving people. So the crimes that are happening, like in Minnesota, a civil war on the people of Minnesota, just innocent people in their homes trying to live their life, have been terrorized, and some of them, we don't even know all the ones that have been unalived. And my thing is, I felt instantly that they were going to turn, because it all goes back to Epstein, folks. And what did 45 do when he was elected the first time? He put children in containment centers. One was a Walmart. The first one that started was a Walmart, an old empty Walmart. Taking children. Now, if you read the Epstein files and you know what Epstein did to children, and he was harvesting and selling children, this can't go on. No matter what side of the political spectrum you're on, no matter what you believe about immigration, they're taking children, just like Epstein did. It all goes back to Epstein, and 45 is mentioned in the Epstein files more than anyone else. He knew the guy. He hung out with him. There's pictures. There's evidence. So we cannot allow this. He has to be arrested. I don't care if you like him. He has to be arrested. This has to stop. And the children have to be taken out of those containment centers. I mean, but damage done, their lives ruined, really. I mean, talk about trauma forever. And I think that the women in there and the children are being raped by the guards repeatedly. This all connects to the Epstein files. It has to stop. It has to stop. And what has to happen is they have to arrest 45. It has to end. So anyway, that's really what I came on here to say. Hi Daniel. Hi Fatima. I'm very opinionated about this. As a child, I was in a really bad situation to the point of abuse. My dad was in a religious cult, and it was a Church of God, which I found out later was they sexually trafficked girls. I was spanked daily for things like touching his Bible, and that's a form of sexual abuse, to have to bend over a bed and be spanked every day. I was interrogated every day. I was terrified. I couldn't talk, move. It got to the point where now I still have problems advocating for myself. I feel very strongly about this, and I just feel like the way we treat women, especially and children, is awful. And just coming from someone who's been through it in her childhood, we need to change everything. It doesn't mean that men have to suffer, but obviously there's an issue in how we're living in society. We need to change things for the better, not to hurt anyone, but to help everyone to change in a better way, in a progressive, healthy way. Fatima, blessings, stand your ground. Oh yeah, thank you, Fatima. So yeah, I just wanted to come on here, say this. You see the sun's going down. It's really pretty outside. It's been beautiful today. I always tell everyone that, like, I could barely even read the news anymore because I have been keeping up on the Epstein files because we have to know the truth because they're just going to gaslight us. But it is so much that I have felt like, my God, I can't do it anymore. I'm going to throw up. And it's too much. It's way too much. So you know, what you have to do is you have to take breaks. Thank you. Thank you. Scene. Thank you. I'm a singer, so that probably relates to my singing. But it's funny because I hate my voice on tapes. I think we're all like that. You know, you hear your voice, you're like, oh my God, I'm so annoying. But I appreciate that. Well, I'm here to let my voice be that calms others down and brings hope and unity because we're all in this together. We're all going through this. These are dark times. This really is a dark era of humanity. I keep getting the word Caligula because that's really, we're in an era of brutality and I don't know, the upside down. We're really like in the upside down. But there is hope. And the light, once you light a candle, can you sing? Okay, let's see, what can I sing? Oh my God, you put me on the spot. I could sing. What's the song? I mean, give me a thing. What's the song that I always sing? I'm trying to think. Let me think. I'll come back. What's the song that I like to sing so much? Oh, Beatles. Okay, tomorrow marks the Friday in 1964 when the Beatles arrived in America. Can you imagine how exciting that was for teenagers to be a teenager at that time? So when I'm at work and I'm doing like filling out cards and stuff at work, I will start to sing. I sing the Beatles. If I fell in love with you, would you promise to be true and help me understand? 'Cause I've been in love before and I found that love was more than just holding hands. If I give my heart to you, you must be sure from the very start that you will love me more than her. There you go. That's the Beatles. I love the Beatles. Anyway, have hope. You have to take moments of hope. Music helps. Find your favorite movies. Read. It's time for everybody to read books again and go to their library because there's a community there. There's happiness there. And what we're reading and seeing is just so awful. It's nightmarish, and you have to take a break sometimes. So thank you, Yassine. Thank you. And hi to Abu Solomon. Hello. Each one of us, just remember this, every single one of here is a light. And you have to shine your light on everyone else. There's a light inside of every single one of us. There's darkness everywhere right now, especially it's really dark right now. And we all have to shine our light. Wherever you go, whatever you do, shine your light on other people. Let it radiate from you. Be the person who walks in a room and makes people happy. You don't have to like go out of your way to make people happy. That's exhausting. But just be a light. Shine your light. And, you know, I always have this phrase that be the person who, when you walk out of a room, people cry because your light was so beautiful that they miss you. Don't be the person who walks in a room and people cry because they're scared of you or they're, you know, you bring such misery to them. Be the person who has such beautiful light. And you all that, every one of you here has that light. Be the person who shines your light on others and makes the world a better place because we're all like stars. You know, you look up in the space and you see stars. Well, we're here on the earth, we're stars. But if the stars are inside of us, inside of all of us, and you shine that on others, the only way we can get through this miserable, hard experience of being a human being, especially right now, is to be that light for each other and bring comfort to each other in whatever way we can. Take care of yourself. We're going to get through this. We are. I feel like it's coming. I feel like the rest of the world is really starting to do something about what's happening in politics right now, and like horrible crimes against humanity and children, Gaza, things in America, things across the world. We're going to get through this. It is going to change, but it's really just very difficult times. So, hi, eggs, X. And well, anyway, I'm about to get off as the sun goes down and the sky turns a beautiful violet. It's about time for me to go. I just wanted to spread that message. I would say, what else? Okay, well, here's something else. I'll give you a tidbit. Donald Trump, you know who that is, 45, I still call him 45. He's trying to sue the Treasury and he's trying to sue the IRS. You know why that is? Because they didn't get all that money from the latest package, like for the, the ICE and all that at the government package. They didn't get it. And they're also, he's just, money is flowing away from him because of his mishandling of money. He doesn't have Elon anymore really to access. And the money's just gone. It's gone. And he knows he has to lawyer up for the Epstein files. He knows this, and he's trying to find out whatever money he can get. Also, I believe he has an escape plan to go to another country. So yeah, he's trying to find how he can sue the pants off the IRS, which is our money. That's our money. That's like insane. Um, but yeah, he's trying to get money because he's trying to lawyer up and also escape should he do that. Now, the other thing is that I wanted to say Michael Cohen real fast. Michael Cohen helped. I want to say this. Michael Cohen went to jail for doing the bad deeds ordered by Donald. Okay, he wasn't a great guy, obviously, but he made amends for that. He served his time, and then he came out and he helped convict 45 with his felonies. Michael Cohen may be seen right now. I think what is, he's afraid. And because he was part of the Epstein files as far as intimidating, like he did with Stormy Daniels. It's really what he did to Stormy Daniels. You under the order of 45 to threaten and extort victims. I don't feel like he did the crimes of the sexual abuse and all that stuff. But I do think his crime is what he did to Stormy Daniels. So look at it that way. So he, and now he's afraid. And he wants to have immunity from persecution by 45 because, hello, 45 is president and owns the Supreme Court. So what I would do is, if I was Michael Cohen, is I would just leave the country at this point. If he could, maybe he can't, but just leave the country. He served his purpose in convicting 45, which was massive. That was a massive thing. At this point, I don't know, leave the country, give the information that you can, leave the country. Now, the Clintons, okay, the Clintons. Bill Clinton is not afraid to go to jail. I think he knows that he's innocent of the crimes that 45 did, like the horrible things with children, etc., for entertainment purpose only. So he's willing to go down. He's already been there. He was impeached for this sexual crime with, I know I'm rambling, with a woman who was of age and it was consensual, but it was in the office of the presidency. Now, he went through that. He went through the coals. He, went through the witch hunt and everything else. He's not afraid to be taken down. And 45 is terrified. Now 45 is like, oh, I like Bill Clinton. And I believe that 45 is trying to give Bill Clinton a pardon, a plea deal, and a immunity if he won't testify. But Bill Clinton is going to testify, and he's going to bring the receipts, and he is going to collaborate and corroborate all the evidence and what he saw 45 do. Now, why didn't he say it before? He had all these years. That's a good question. But I think it's because we live in a society where people stay silent. And we also know now that everything we know is going to collapse. I really think that's why no one released the Epstein files until now, because literally everything we know, all the elite are going to collapse because they're all implicated. But Bill Clinton is going to testify. Now, the thing is, are they going to air it, and will we hear the testimony? I don't know. I hear yes. I hear that we will. It's all coming down. France and England and Italy, I hear, are going to bring it down. They're going to bring out the evidence of the Epstein files. 45 will have nowhere to hide. So that's what I'm getting, and I'm going to leave. And again, shine your light, find moments of happiness and peace, because you deserve that, and it is going to get better. So I'm going to sign off. Thank you, and I'll talk to you later.